even know what a Stallone cut is?
Mr. Dwight Manfredi.
Mr. Dwight.
Stallone Cuts.
Good?
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone Cuts. Stallone
You ready?
Cuts.
Manfredi.
And welcome to MTV.
Oh man. Tulsa Kings, episode 9. I'm your host.
Final 9.
It was the last
was.
episode. I was right.
I thought
it was pretty misinformation.
I didn't know, because like on IMDb it says, but IMDb is spreading misinformation. I'm Alex.
I'm your host, Malenko.
And I'm Alex.
Nice to meet you. Dude, this
1997 Stallone.
Okay.
Brooklyn Stallone.
Oh, Samaritan Stallone.
I'm the bad guy.
Slightly dyed hair Stallone. It wasn't Samaritan. There was no smoothing. There might have been smoothing.
I just meant Samaritan because they were in a CGI burning building.
Yeah, totally.
It gave me big Samaritan vibes.
Yeah.
Also, we know what Cheeky looked like in 97.
My name is Chick.
He was in The Wire, and
So balding.
oh man, the like pulled back balding hair
loved
Cheeky
it. I thought it was
with
great.
Vince. I'm glad that they didn't. Did they smooth them out? Okay, so Vince, Armand, and Cheeky are in.
Or torturing that guy that Stallone went to jail for.
Wait, Ripple, because they rhyme Ripple the cripple, because he like breaks his leg, but so like there's some reason that he's like, I swear I didn't know, and
Yeah,
he's like,
totally.
and it's like he's like, what didn't you? Oh, he's so good. Cheeky's so good.
He's so good. Got so cucked in this episode.
I mean,
both by the show and by Stallone.
We'll get to that. Okay,
And like
1997 Stallone.
1997 Stallone, but this is exactly what I was talking about
No.
throughout the show.
No,
where
I
it's
know.
like, oh, I'm now with Vince and Chicky. I don't know still barely anything about these characters, and still it's like, oh, I'm supposed to kind of care, and it's like, no. I mean, it was a good episode, but it was just kind of like, oh, Vince is still the guy, right? Anyway, go ahead.
Which Vince?
Vince.
Vince is the guy?
Yeah, he's just like the unhinged guy who's like,
Well,
right?
they
And
would make
Chicky's
it
just
would
like,
track that he was always the same. We'll get to that. We'll like what do you make of this?
Oh,
like
okay.
1997 opening.
I mean, I liked Armand's like genuine calling Manfredi, being like, Dwight, they're coming, come up here, they're doing something crazy, Dwight.
You better hurry.
Hurry.
It's Ripple.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the slight backstory. I like Armand
backstory.
Yeah.
It just should have happened earlier in the show. Oh man, when Chicky's like, back on the ranch, we used to brand animals, right? And then he's like lighting the brand on fire.
Ranch? What was he talking about?
I don't know. When he was a kid, I don't know.
Did he grow up in Tulsa? Does he have a Tulsa backstory?
I have no idea.
Did he say back on the ranch?
Yeah, that's why he had the like iron that he branded the guy.
Well, he just used like a mashed potato making thing.
Well,
He like lit a mashed potato squisher on fire.
yeah,
and then
but
he
he's-
branded
but
his
he still
face.
said back on the ranch.
Yeah. We used to do branding. My father's
Nico,
oppressive.
in the future, gets branded by Stallone.
Oh yeah, I mean that was kind of. I think he did. He did that.
Back to.
Well, because Stallone did that because of
Maybe probably,
because of that.
probably.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be with that?
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know. But then Stallone coming up and being like, what are you doing? He still has to be the good guy too.
Always
like,
good guys.
Always had to be like, I got put away in prison for doing this, but I didn't do anything, even though I'm a mafia guy and I've got darker hair, but I'm not smoothed out.
Carbon steel. It's carbon steel. I can't do anything with carbon steel. Do you have the keys? I don't have the keys. Come on, Uncle Dwight.
The Uncle Dwight. Mr. White.
Mr. White.
Yeah, Mr. White.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing? Dwight! They were so like...
And Armand's like, come on, Dwight.
Oh man, and then what's this? All of them are so like slinky
It's-
and like
It's very mafia guy.
All their dads, basically.
Totally, he's there to fix the situation.
Yeah, totally.
And so the whole thing happens because they throw there's a
iron
pile of
into a
newspaper.
pile of
We don't even read the newspaper, and yet it burns the entire.
What happened to the key? You didn't leave them in the car? Oh man. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought this 1997 Stallone was cool. And then trying to rip out the what's it called?
The radiator thing? Yeah.
Which in a different movie, Stallone totally would have been able to do. But in this movie, he's it's carbon steel. I can't rip it out. Otherwise, I could have.
Rip it out!
Yeah, totally. Oh,
Yeah.
man, don't put that drop because then I'll have to find it compulsively.
Rip it out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Rip it out!
Oh man! And then when the fire starts and they pull the curtain down to like put out the fire, but then that gets caught on fire more, and then Stallone is like, ugh, and he pulls out his gun and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you."
It makes the cucked cheeky stuff work because Cheeky, for all of his like bark, he really is like not
a fucking loser.
He is.
Your old man, Mr. Loser.
He never got his chance to be a guy. He just thinks he's a guy because
totally,
like he's only a boss. He's the boss of this family. He's like the boss of your family. What does he say? Okay, we'll get. I'm sorry.
Triple is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Ripple.
Ripple. When Stallone pulls out the gun and
I'm
he's
not
like,
letting you die in a fire.
Yeah.
And it's crying Stallone.
to death.
He's so dead. He's like, I was thinking Get Carter Stallone the entire time. We know also 1997 Stallone was Get Carter Stallone.
Yeah, it's like 2001 Stallone.
Yeah.
Almost the same.
Almost
but
the same.
Then they all get downstairs and the cops are already there, which I liked. I liked all of this.
No, they ran away before, and Dwight, because he was waiting.
No, it's Armand. Armand comes down and he's arrested.
Armand's not arrested. Dwight's the only one that's arrested.
Somebody is arrested. Dude.
That's Dwight.
That's not Dwight.
That's Dwight. Check.
That's not Dwight.
Double check that's Dwight.
Dwight comes down. He comes down after. That's not Dwight.
Oh. Well, why wouldn't Armand be arrested then? What?
I think they went down. Both of them went down, and then Armand. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
That's Dwight. Check.
Mr. Dwight.
It's Mr. Dwight.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're Mr. Dwight.
Yeah, Mr. White.
They all left earlier, and Stallone waited to kill the guy. He waited to kill Ripple.
It doesn't matter. He covered his fingers, so I was like, but you're right. I was spreading fingers.
Our news organization. Can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking.
He put his hands up, and he was like,
put his hands up.
listen, the nerve damage only happens in prison. It hasn't happened yet.
We also didn't mention last episode Loj Kerrigan, who directed Keen and Clean Shaven and a bunch of episodes of what's it called? Girlfriend Experience. Really good director. This is a better episode, and it was the writing in the last episode for sure. That was not good.
Well, like, I have a feeling about this episode that I want to talk to you about. I do think that the reason this episode worked and the reason that it kind of works for the end of the show and the every other episode things works is because when they lean into what kind of show it is, it's the best.
It's a better show.
It's a better show.
Yeah, somebody could cut this down into like 5 episodes, and it would be a better show.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And somebody could just cut out Stallone's daughter entirely.
Why? No,
Because-
I like that. I like Tina.
Not Tina, his actual
Scarlett
daughter.
Stallone. Yeah, Scarlett Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, her cameo was my favorite one. You just put it in the stirrup.
Yeah,
and throw
helping
your
her
leg.
dad up that was amazing.
You just throw your leg over. You put it in the stirrup. Dad, you just scroll up and then you click settings. I mean, I don't, this technology. I don't know.
But now he's so proficient on Instagram, Stallone. Oh man, when it cuts to present day and he's getting interrogated by the cops, he's like, "How do you know Agent Beale?" I don't know. I
don't know anything.
I don't know.
Oh man,
What about Kalen Waltrip?
bug-eyed lawyer that comes in. He's like, my client, he didn't say anything. He's smart. All right, see you fucking idiots later.
No, I love. And did you get a look at Kalen Waltrip? Who?
Yeah.
You don't think we know who the fuck you are? Yeah, and then obviously this dude is fucking Bodhi's lawyer, like hippie guy.
Man. So good, so good, yeah.
Yeah.
He walks in like wearing like one of those oversized sweatshirts.
Totally. I really liked this scene where Dwight brings the flowers to Stacy's mom and puts the flowers down and is like, I know I can't repay you, but I'm gonna repay you. I'm gonna give
Somehow,
you
illegally, I will repay you.
Definitely, illegally.
It won't have consequences on this episode at all.
Never, at all. Unless there's another episode after this. Maybe then, but not this episode. And I like this. I like this was fucking such a good moment because she reveals that Kaylin Waltrip is actually a multimillionaire and that Bodhi's gonna steal a bunch of money later.
So they just like, yeah.
He's probably in Mexico right now. I don't know. Maybe he's there, maybe he's not. I'm gonna get revenge though.
But Kaylin,
in the next scene where Kaylin is like talking to, they are a biker gang. I realized like they're probably somewhat white supremacists, but they're not Nazis because like
they're not overtly. Well,
biker gangs are.
They're
all,
just
like,
white supremacists by default.
Yeah, just like adjacent because they want to freak out the like weird. Those what did they used to do?
It gives them like a foothold in a thing if they are right.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not like specifically like Nazis or whites. Like that's not the focus. It doesn't seem like. But he wants them to loose their bikes, which is if you know anything about like Hell's Angels and stuff like that, they tend not to do that. The biker gang.
Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's true now, but like they're like they're a gang, right? But now they have to lay low, and that guy who like stands up to
calling it to doubt, yeah.
And then he like Waltrip takes a swig, and he's like, "Oh man, well, what are we gonna do now?" And then he fucking shoots him in the face. I thought that was great. More stuff like this needed to happen too with Kaylin Waltrip. We needed to know how much of a scary dude he was.
That's the thing is like to put it here to like have the such high stakes here of him killing one of his own guys. He did beat the guys up. It was maybe inconsistently distributed because it didn't seem always like he was so badass.
Yeah, totally. And like they're setting up that his entire crew is gonna attack the other crew.
Yeah, it's like they both have bounties on each other's heads.
Yeah,
it's like they're out.
What are we gonna lay low? The ATF is after.
And everyone else is like.
Yeah, everybody else is like definitely like.
Yeah, they're like. For some reason, this guy's Northern Irish. We don't know why.
I'm okay with that. I think people who have accents, people like this, are like, whoa, he's got an accent. He must know things.
Maybe, yeah. It did add to the majestic quality, and he says something poetic in this scene that was like, it just shows kind of. I like the like pathetic megalomania where it's like the poetry is like it's kind of profound, but like not really. You know what I mean? Like,
he's like something about parasites. He's like, some parasites you can drown out, others you have to cut out. I don't know why I'm doing it like that intense an accent.
Yeah.
But, with a fucking broadsword, and it's kind of like a little bit like tame and like pathetic. It's pretty hilarious,
but it makes the shooting scarier because he's just unhinged.
Yeah, totally, and he's just like kind of bad at his job.
Your microphone's backwards. Mine's not.
No, but I'm still loud enough, which is good. But it's gonna have that little slightly
have that muffled effect.
Yeah, sorry.
And it'll have me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh man, and then we cut to Dwight, and he's like, "Anybody sees him, we're gonna get Waltrip. We're gonna get him. Anybody needs to kill him." And it's just like, man. And then, oh god, Armand is like, "Goody called. Cheeky's coming here too," which like my theory wasn't proven.
It wasn't proven.
Yeah.
I was happy that it wasn't proven.
I was sad that it wasn't proven.
It's just fucking loser Cheeky.
My name is Cheeky.
Goody changes sides. I liked it.
Didn't like the Goody changing sides. It just made no sense whatsoever.
It didn't make any sense.
It made no sense.
It didn't
But we'll
make any
get to
sense.
it why
We'll
it
get
made
to
no
it.
sense. In early 1998, Dwight, several months after you went to prison, and it was the Super Bowl, I remember because of that.
Armand telling the story about his origin story for Tulsa.
Please, enlighten us.
You know, it was fight or flight, and I just chose flight.
My heart, it was pounding so much, I was gonna get him.
I went on the I-95. I just drove for 48 hours and ended up in Tulsa. 24 hours. I don't know what it was. Yeah, like, I thought that was
good. I thought that stuff,
Yeah.
again, a lot of this stuff felt like it needed to happen way earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you had no conversation like this after I pointed a fucking gun at you. You didn't, like, have a, like,
that
you know
was,
what I mean?
That was the thing that was like, you know, I didn't get the sense that when they saw each other in the scene when Dwight first meets Armand, that they had the relationship of like him calling Dwight and being like,
it's like they hid it from us on the show just conveniently, and it's like, why?
yeah, confuse us, be like, how do they know each other? Make us think about
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Make you think about loss. All right, I'm gonna make you learn about loss. Something like that.
106 degrees. Can you fucking believe it? When they're sitting
They're
poolside.
like just hanging out on some like rooftop patio.
I was okay with this, but then like Armand, Tyson, and Dwight show up, and he's like, "What is this? An ambush? I could ask you the same thing."
If this was an ambush, you'd be dead already.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like him just being like, you fucking suck, dude. You're on my turf. Like, in a way, it works. In a way, okay, so this is a confrontation scene. He basically comes and he's like, this is my town. You thought you were going to get rid of me?
Yeah.
And now I'm the king. I'm the boss. He did what he said, what we all knew it was building
totally.
to. He started his own family. He's the Tulsa King.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
the
talking
general.
to the boss of your family, to fucking Vince.
I mean, like,
You're a provocateur, a pain in my ass. I love that he used the word provocateur.
the lines are good.
Yeah,
the lines are good, but you're right. There's a like level of, it's believable for this show.
It's believable for this show. It's just so much of it happens like as convenient. Like things are convenient to the show rather than being like written in and baked into the show.
I was written in as your wife so that I could watch you and make sure the erasure took.
As your wife.
Written in as your wife to watch you and make sure the erasure took.
Exile, like, hey, Napoleon. the fact that he knows that kind of stuff.
And he's referring to another general.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's called Elba. You're gonna die.
I mean,
And guess what? I'm earning. That's the whole point. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. And it's true.
yeah.
So I want you to pack your shit and leave. And then he asks Goody if he wants to stay.
You have 3 seconds to decide. It kind of like it kind of
And the poking at Goody too, the threatening poke.
there's a kind of like push and pull of like when the show is being serious, and then it chooses in these moments to be like, Goody, change sides. All right, you know, it doesn't like, you think about it, and then he joins them later or something. You know, like
you're right.
You're right. Well, you're right.
I'm Dwight.
Mr. White.
Yeah, Mr. White.
It does feel like Goody just kind of makes this decision haphazardly, and it's just like, don't you have a life, dude? Like, it's like, do you have anything back there? Like,
Dwight, my wife and kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's just,
I got 3 kids. One of them's in medical school.
yeah, it feels like this guy just like arbitrarily does this because of some loyalty, but we don't build Goody. We built Goody in he's showed up in like 2-3 episodes at this point.
Yeah.
It's they want importance to characters that I just. And then even the important characters don't even have that much of a backstory.
That's the thing, is like, to set up Tyson so hard as he's gonna die and then to not kill him felt a little bit like 2 things. When they were setting up Tyson to die so hard, and we'll get to that. When is that scene? Sorry.
Well, we'll get to the next scene.
Sorry.
We're at Chuck and Buck's saloon.
Chuck and Buck, suck and fuck.
Everybody gets introduced to Goody, and then Stallone has
This is
his.
Goody. He's a new guy
Yeah,
with us.
he's
I
the-
believe him wholeheartedly.
For some reason, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense, but he's here.
But he yells, "Fuck! fuck when in the bar scene he does his general speech, which is cool.
What
but
did you? I was going to ask you about the speech. How did you feel about the speech?
I wish it was written better.
I wish it was written better too. There was
Yeah.
something lacking in it. Like
Yeah.
Stallone's performance is really good, but it felt like there was like these
Stilted.
pauses and stilted. But also, I was thinking like, is he thinking about it? Is he coming up with it off the cuff?
All right, I'm gonna make you learn about loss. Something like that.
That might have been cool, but
Maybe,
it just
but
didn't
it just-
fit like the moment.
Oh, Grace, you're here too. You're gonna shoot people as well.
I like that because
you've trauma bonded with me.
no, because it adds these like weird moments of like Gracie. See, like, why didn't they make Badface like a Grace type character or a Fred type character or like a Goody type
Well,
character?
That's the thing, is that we've already introduced characters. Why don't you use them for all the dramatic stuff that you could with
I mean, I just wanted to
Goody?
see Badface. I was so disappointing that he only showed up in 2 episodes.
I mean, that's the thing. But like, that's the disappointment that you feel with that is the disappointment generally with a lot of the stuff I see on the show.
I know. I do.
Like fucking Garrett Hedlund's dad in it? That guy? Why did they bring that guy back? I forget what that actor's name is, but he's
Babe
great.
wasn't. Did he call him Baby or something? What was his name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's pretty great.
Fuck fear!
Yeah, like inspirational Stallone. It worked because he's so good, and he was
totally,
so good on the
totally.
show. And it was like kind of like watching like them like toast themselves. Like the entire ending episode was like them being like, "Hey, we did it! We did it!
We made a show,
We made a
guys.
show, guys!"
Yeah,
it
that's
seemed like they were
totally
like
we made a
they
show,
were
guys.
done filming, and they were just like kind of like getting B-roll.
Yeah, totally. Goody. No, sorry. Dwight shows up to Bodie's with Tyson and is like, "Hey, look, can you do hacking? I know you do crypto.
Just get some coins into my bank account.
You were in some sort of silicon show. I don't know if that's like a booby thing or something, but you know about crypto."
Silicon Valley. Back in the 80s, we used to call that the sea of tits that we saw. You wouldn't believe it. The 80s was crazy. Like, they were all blonde, too. I was a thing.
It's a very strong maybe. It's a very strong yes. and then we get, which Garrett Hedlund should have had more scenes like this, where he's talking to his dad and he's like, I don't make friends too often. I like this. This kind of hurt, dumb guy, smart guy, dumb like as an uneducated, but
there's like
street smarts, wisdom kind of
there's
guy.
a profound wisdom to him where he's like, and then this guy looking like he came out of a mafia movie. And I was just like, yeah. Yeah, it kind of...
I liked that. It should have been more. There should have been more.
There was a sense of magic to their friendship. Remember, we were both like, when did they get this close? But it made sense. It felt like if they wrote more things like that...
Exactly, for Garrett Hedlund. If they had scenes where he was like thinking about it...
Learning about loss?
Look, son, I'm old as shit. But I loved his dad. His dad, like doing some renovations in the fucking house or whatever.
You know what I think it is? It's the push-pull between the Tulsa and the New York Italian. And the New York mob guy. Because it's like, it's hard to make the tonality of those things work. And, we've obviously pointed out all the things...
It's not hard. I'm going to challenge that. It's not hard. It's that they were careless with which characters they wanted to focus on and which emphasis they wanted to focus on. It's not that they didn't... the actors aren't doing a lot to imbue the characters with depth. It's the writing that isn't imbuing the characters with depth.
Writing is lacking, for sure.
And then we get the scene where hacking is taking place and all the numbers are coming through.
About
and
ATF people is they're lazy as shit.
I mean, everybody's lazy as shit.
Oh no, sorry.
Do you have that new thing on iPhone where it like tells you all the passwords that you have and it's like, this password is reused. Don't do that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I love it. I mean, I hate all technology now, but then the ATF is like looking at Waltrip's computer. They're like, what the fuck just happened? And all the money is drained.
Are you really not going to wear your cowboy hat?
Not for this last episode.
You have to.
I gotta.
You have to. I'm sorry, I'm whack the mic.
As I punch my microphone. Oh man, Waltrip's response to losing all of his money, that was... But it wasn't... It wasn't... It was... Fuck! Like, where it's like panicked and pathetic and like...
Yeah,
just
you know you can't do anything about it because it's fake money.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't
totally.
exist and you don't have it anymore, so you're just like,
and then the get well soon card that Stacy's mom gets, and the USB falls out and it says, Stacy's mom has got it going on. Not that I could repay you. It would be in Dwight's voice, and it should have been in Dwight's voice. It would have been hilarious.
it's like a voiceover. Not that I could repay you.
No, that would be so cheesy, but amazing. And then she plugs it in and sees that her bank account has $1 million.
Kept the rest of his money.
Oh,
Kept
yeah,
the rest of the money for herself, Stallone.
oh, hey.
Listen, I got an
Listen,
operation to run. Okay, we need. Fuck, what was the line I was gonna say?
I'm gonna make you think about loss. All right, I'm gonna make you learn about loss. Something like that.
We need there's a lot of overhead. Okay.
And they're in Tyson, who's dropped off the USB, is in the car with Dwight, and he's like, again, sort of interrogating him. Does he actually want to do this? Does he like want to be a part of this? Which,
Again, acted incredibly by Tyson. I thought that he did such a good job with the writing, and like almost the writing worked because almost there were parts where I was like,
but it's just one dimensional because we've had this conversation.
I know, and he's like,
oh, you're my gangster, right? He finally accepts him the way his dad accepted him, but his dad accepted him. So you could stretch so many of these things, and fucking Sopranos would have stretched so many of these things into individual season character arcs,
like arcs. Yeah,
where it's just like the payoff happens when like he fucking dies, or the dad doesn't know until like the son is like on TV or something. Something to pay off, and none of the characters of value died at all.
Well, it felt like they were building up to Tyson dying in this scene, and I kind of, to be honest, if you're gonna have a scene like this where it's like, at least I'm my own man. At least this,
totally.
like, that's the kind of like pre-death knell scene.
Yeah, totally.
And like they just didn't do it.
No, they just didn't do it. And granted, like I like my expectations undermined, but none of this show
Not
undermines
in this way. Like
undermines any of my expectations. All of what happens in the show fully is like, oh, that was expected. That was expected. There was no like sense of danger.
This ending, this 3 months later, like, no.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
Hold
I
on.
love the present day. I love the 1997, and we'll get
Any of the time jumps were cool, but
the time jumps were cool. But then we hear in the next scene, everybody's like calm, playing. Garrett Hedlund's playing guitar. People are playing pool, and then all of a sudden we hear the.
And they're just ready for.
They're just ready, and they pull out the like traps or whatever.
The
Home Alone traps.
They do Home Alone. I was like. I kind of like this because they know it's coming, and they just made it like Shakespearean and theatrical for us.
You're back here in Hollywood making movies right now because of us! Because they believe in us and what we're doing!
For us.
Yeah.
I think it worked for the show, especially with the
Phil
song
Collins
choice.
Yeah, Phil Collins
was so out because it starts off with the deconstructed, like they got the stems, dude, and they're just like
100%.
bringing in the drums without the vocals, bringing in the synths, and you hear the deconstructed, and you're like, is this in the air tonight? And it's just like,
yeah, totally.
And I'm like. Okay.
And there were so many gunshots.
What an outrageous choice.
It was.
It was pretty epic.
It was pretty epic as an individual scene. I don't think it was earned. Because like
you're right.
It
was a cool scene but in an unearned way.
Yeah, Waltrip doesn't earn this kind of death.
But
either.
don't you think that like aren't you at least happy for these moments of elevation, or do you resent them because they're not consistent enough?
It's a bit of both. Like in the scene, in the episode itself, I enjoy them, but talking about them, it ends up being like,
I know what they were doing, and like this the thing is they didn't take as many bold choices as this scene took, and then thusly the scene felt out of place.
Yeah, exactly. And then Tyson gets shot in the arm. Gracie is the one who saves Dwight from two dudes.
I was just gonna say, I hope it doesn't seem like we're shitting on the episode too much, because I did really genuinely enjoy it. I just feel like we're also, capping off the season.
But we have to talk about how the show could be better.
Yeah.
because like it could be better. I'm not shitting on the show. I love the show. I love Stallone. I want the show to be better.
Yeah.
You know? And then when Stallone like grabs Waltrip and it like pushes him over, and it's such like old man fighting.
I liked it. I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
The two of them, you know, it's sort of like, you know, it reminded me of like Rocky, or not Rocky, Creed, when he's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I really... yeah, totally. He was so like, but this dude clearly has like such thick hair. He just
Unlike Stallone. No, Stallone has such thick hair. It's not his, but dude. I mean, it's genetically not his.
When he pushes his face into a horn and then shoots him just to make sure, and his like face, like
there was, it was so very, like brutal. Well, look, okay, that's
it was
not
very
without...
Samaritan. It was. You think I'm the good guy?
I'm the bad guy.
There's something very. I mean, like, it has precedent in this show. These kinds of deaths have precedent.
Yeah, they do. And Waltrip, like, being stuck on it and then being like
kind of sliding down.
Yeah, totally. And then everybody coming up from the bar and everything being broken. I liked the, like, I'm gonna do renovations, pa. And, oh man, Stallone coming in and epically having the hair like shine through the light. It looked perfect. It looked just enough balding for an old man.
That's amazing. His hair looked really good
in this episode for sure. And like just having him stand there being like, I won, you know? And then the next scene where the 3 months later happens, I appreciated this where, Tina comes and she's with "Oi, Tina, my grandkids.
You're gonna meet my horse.
You're gonna meet my real life daughter. She's important. You know how Mel says it? My daughter is important.
My grandkids, they're hanging out with Scarlett Stallone, and she's my daughter. She's my daughter. You look like my daughter. It's because you're Italian. My skin is tanned in this season. I don't know why.
Yeah. Even though I've been in prison for 25 years.
They wanted to make me look more like I was Calabrese, and I was here for it.
Yeah, and then, but I like this scene where the two daughters compete for Stallone's affection, and he goes to ride the horse, like the general too. That was cool too. Like the imagery is cool because he's the general.
Wait. Sorry, we missed one really funny line that was a callback to our last episode. Look, I know the nature of our relationship is unconventional because of a non-hierarchical polystructure. I know that I'm with the horse lady now too. Listen,
it's fine. Look,
she's your metamour. That's the terminology. I learned it. I read it in prison. It was
also we didn't mention that Margaret is like wants to go to Chuck and Buck's eventually to fucking suck Stallone.
Yeah.
And 3 months later happens. I really liked the time jump stuff.
He was like, sorry, I've been busy for 3 months. I was cleaning up bodies.
Totally. And Stacy's mom is getting reprimanded, but also not losing her job like most cops don't when they do something illegal and horrible. And she does...
6 month probation period. There's one more thing. They cut away.
Such a fucking good job, though. She's
her
excellent
acting
in this scene.
She's
so good in this scene.
She ended up being the most interesting character in a way.
Yeah, she pays off.
Her turn.
She pays off in that way. More Pete characters should have been like her.
I agree with that. Yeah, because there was a while where I was like, we were both kind of like, what are they doing with Stacey? She was so like,
yeah. Oh, and the one
Daisy. No, what's her name? What was the Maisie? No,
not Maisie.
Who was
Roxy.
Maisie?
Maisie is.
Because there was a Maisie.
Garrett Hedlund's wife.
That's right. But she's like only in like 2 scenes.
Yeah, she is only in 2 scenes. Anyway, we come to the new Chuck and Buck's, which is like a
Fly me to the moon.
Yeah. But it's actually. Lord, I was born a rambling man.
I was born a rambling man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally. And everybody's just good friends and they're all hugging each other.
And I was like,
yeah, totally.
This is the actual end. They prolonged the ending of the like shoot. They're like, where it's gonna be a party, dressed like for the show, but it's gonna be
it's gonna
kind of
be
a party too.
Yeah, totally. And Garrett Hedlund's actual singing voice is just his real voice.
I thought it was good. I was
no,
like,
it's really good, but he doesn't sound like the. He's definitely lowering his own
he's
voice.
He's putting on his voice.
Yeah, but he's really good. He's also paying off, but in. I just wish there was less characters. There's too many characters.
There's too many characters.
It's like, somebody's gonna flip. These guys are all wieners. Like, I believe Tyson and I believe Bodhi to some degree, but I don't. I believe Garrett would like not talk to the cops, but that's it. You know what I mean? Gracie seems like that wiener dreadlock kid. Seems like you'd like be like, "Fuck this! What am I doing?"
That's
that
the
friend
thing.
kid.
Like I actually believe. Gracie more than the dreadlock kid.
Yeah, totally.
Because like they actually build up. She's triggered.
She's definitely Antifa. Like she doesn't buy any cops.
Well, like she's an anarchist. She's an anarcho-syndicalist.
No, she's a left-wing anarchist, and Bodhi's a right-wing anarchist.
She's an anarcho-syndicalist, a left-wing anarchist. Yeah,
that's not anarcho-syndicalism. Isn't anarchy.
It has elements. Okay, we don't need to get into that right now, but we'll talk about that later. But yes, she's a leftist anarchist. Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I'm making it work for this one, dude.
And they all Garrett Hedlund, Dwight, buddy. This one's for you. And he sings like a weirdly sexual song to him.
Like an Oklahoma specific song, which I was was like, what? I thought he was going to sing like a Fly Me to the Moon. That would have been amazing. I thought it would have been amazing, but like he does like an Oklahoma song. I don't know. It was cool. I like the song. But then it's like, Dwight, there's a lady waiting outside for you. She said you'd know who you are. Or not, what was it? I don't know. It's something it was like.
Because, she said you'd know who she was. But what's cool about it is because we've already got the setup of Margaret being like, "Oh, I'll show up one day," and then the reveal, dude, is like so tragic. This was such a good cap to the ending. Like,
it was a good, like such a like,
and her hair looks so good
to end on such a somber tone. Her hair does look good.
Her hair looks so good. I was
and that kind of like.
Yeah, totally.
She did a lot of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, hold on.
Dwight Manfredi.
You're under arrest.
Do you know what this is? The flash drive. They show him the flash drive.
Man.
That's purely for the audience. But because like, why would they
would never show evidence? Bring evidence to the bar.
And they arrest him for bribing an officer, which is like oh, so awesome.
Well, because like it shows.
And Tina comes out and she's like, "What the hell is going on?"
Not again, Dad.
Yeah. Oh man, the disappointment.
Yeah, like
the disappointment,
and the same disappointment he has in Stacy's mom.
And the like that he does.
It's kind
Tell
of
me
like,
this isn't happening. I'm sorry, Tina.
It's a sad ending. It's a sad
ending. And
ending.
then In the Air comes on again because they've caught him. They ambushed him.
And also like to sort of bring back the bold choice of the song choice. Kind of is like they were trying to fake a little bit of elevation to the show because I'm like, it didn't earn an ending like this. You know what I mean? Like, make it, like cheers.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Totally. Ultimately, I'm giving the show as a whole. We'll do the episode. We'll do the whole, and we'll do Stallone's. As a whole, giving the show 7.5.
Really?
Yeah. I'm giving the show 7.5. Okay, it's been pretty consistent at that level, and my expectations are now 7.5 for the next season. I'm giving the episode an 8.5 because I really enjoyed it as a whole, even though it really did show off a lot of the flaws in the entirety.
Yeah.
And Stallone's, I'm going to also give it 8.5. I enjoyed Stallone in this. He didn't go over and above.
No.
But he did as a finale and as like a 1997 Stallone and as actually maybe that's too high. I'm going to give it also a 7.5 Stallone's.
Okay.
Yeah. It just feels like as I'm talking about it and as I'm hearing it, it just feels a little bit like it could have been a little bit more from everybody. But Garrett Hedlund did a really good job in
Garrett
this.
Hedlund was
Garrett
my
Hedlund
favorite
really
in this
shined
episode. Yeah, and so did Stacy.
Stacy, man, that hair at the end was really good. She's also, I think, my favorite character on the show aside from Dwight. She did a really good job.
Mr. Dwight.
As a whole. She did a really good job. Most consistent next to Stallone. Because
I agree.
as characters, they're good actors in those roles, and they play them really well. But, like, man, like, missed opportunities.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, way too many. Way too many. I would give the show a 7. I would give it a 7, a little bit lower than you.
Wow, 7. Fair.
I
Totally fair.
really looked forward. I looked forward to every episode. Like, what's my criteria? You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Stallone. I'm getting great Stallone.
Yeah.
You're getting great Stallone.
I mean,
so
the audience is getting great Stallone content.
It's true. I was excited every episode. But like, if I'm rating a show, if I was just watching it, not doing it for Stallone's.
My expectations were also raised by the fact that Terrence Winter, fucking Stallone,
it's a powerhouse combination.
Taylor Sheridan. I mean, I have great expectations for those. So I don't know. We'll see. Second season. You know what? You can fuck up a first season. Hey, you can fuck up a first season. I don't know. Maybe
they'll listen to some of the tone notes.
Maybe they'll listen to some Tulsa Kings for their notes.
Maybe they'll take some notes. Listen to people. The audience found the tone inconsistent.
Anyway,
I would give it 7. I would give the episode an 8. And I would give Stallone an 8.
Cool. So like basically like slightly less
0.5 from
0.5,
down.
yeah.
I don't know. Like it was good. It was good. Listen. It just you're right. You're right.
You're right. Well, you're right.
And you were right the whole time. It just I was really rooting for the show, and now that it's
done.
It's like I had fun.
Fun, really. Paris is the greatest.
It was fun. I'm glad that all these people got good work. There was very interesting characters, very interesting.
Good cast.
The casting was great. The writing suffered. And I feel like it's too many characters.
It is.
Too much focus on too many characters. They could have cut out
doing things.
You're right. They could have cut. I'm sad to say, but they could have cut out Tina. And they could have cut out the sister, but like I was so happy to see these actors.
Yeah, totally. And they could have done stuff. They could have cut out whole scenes of this show.
Cut out Emery. They didn't need the stuff with Cheeky would have been elevated without the B plot of the sisters and him beating up. Like it makes him more of a loser.
Your old man, Mr. Loser.
But like there's just too many things.
Follow us at
Thirsty for More Presents on Instagram.
At More Thirsty on Twitter.
And guys, patreon.com/thirsty4more. But also, more importantly, we're almost done the whole season that we did of Stallone Cuts, our podcast, our main podcast that we do. You should check out.
Check it out.
Stallone Cuts, it's a phenomenal season. If you've liked the Tulsa King content, you'll love. If you're just a Tulsa Kings guy, then you'll be a Stallone Cuts guy.
Absolutely.
Guy, anyone. Guy, pal, girl, anyone.
Whatever, person.
Whoever you are. Whoever you happen to be, you'll love it. You'll love us.
Hey, Pa, you'll love it. He's so a guy who like would get into like some sort of scheme and
then try and convince his Pa, but like 3 months later, his Pa be bailing him out.
$100,000. That's all I need. Anyway, see you next week.